Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Play This Game. I've decided after a couple weeks of thinking about how I could change things on the channel, how I could mix things up a bit and take a show that I found hasn't generated a lot of buzz or a lot of traffic on my channel and kind of rework it to making more sense for the channel. I've taken Backlogged and I've turned it into this. So this is Play This Game. Now what this show is about is it's about me playing a game and telling you guys to play this game. The very first game we're going to ever talk about on the inaugural episode of Play This Game is going to be the PS4 remaster of Shadow of the Colossus. If you're like a lot of people out there, you've probably played Shadow of the Colossus on either PS2 when it originally released back in 2005, or you played the excellent remaster of this game in 2010 on the PS3 that was part of the ICO, as some people like to call it, and Shadow of the Colossus double pack remaster thing for PS3, which is where I played the game. I am going to make a bold statement here. I've never finished Shadow of the Colossus, and the reason I've never finished the game is I always lost interest in it. I don't know why, and I have to say that the Shadow of the Colossus remake here for PS4 is more than just a fresh coat of paint. It is completely rebuilt from the ground up. No longer are textures very muddy and hard to see, from that PS2 release that was just kind of up-res for PS3. This is a completely new game built from the ground up, but it is Shadow of the Colossus, and it is phenomenal. Blue Point Studios did an outstanding job taking a game that is beloved by so many people and not only remastering it, this is a remake. They built this from the ground up for PS4, harnessing the power of the PlayStation 4, and it looks just so incredible. It is one of the best looking games I've played for the PlayStation 4, and if you're a PlayStation 4 Pro owner like me, it is a shining example of why you should own the system. Now I'm going to be completely honest. When the PlayStation 4 version of this game was announced a year ago at E3, I was not excited. I wasn't on the side of the fence that even gave a shit about this game. And it wasn't until a couple weeks before the game was being released that I started to see all of the buzz around this remake of it and all of these people talking, critical reception was at an all-time high for it. And then hearing that, oh, this game harnesses the power of the PS4 Pro, and I thought to myself, you know what? It's a budget title, it's not a full $60 game, it's a $40 game, and it's actually going to take advantage of the PlayStation 4 Pro, something I feel doesn't happen as often as I would like it to, and let me tell you, this is a phenomenal piece of work for the PlayStation 4 Pro. So, if you have a PS4 Pro, you can either run the game at 1440p resolution locked at 30 frames, or you can lock the game at 60 frames, 1080p, which is the way that I've chosen to play the game. Now, at the time of this recording, I have not finished it. I am about halfway through the game at the time of this recording. I've loved every minute of this game, and it's finally clicking for me. For someone who played the PS2 version of it, played the PS3 version of it, could never really get into this game. It has finally clicked for me, and I don't know if maybe it's because after playing Breath of the Wild last year and realizing kind of the genius behind Breath of the Wild's design kind of took elements of Shadow of the Colossus, I kind of see why people love Shadow of the Colossus and why it's one of the most beloved PlayStation games of all time. The music, the fights of these giant boss battles are incredible. And again, I cannot stress enough how gorgeous this game looks. I found myself using the photo mode for the first time in any PS4 game, taking crazy photos of just all the scenery and everything in this game. This is a fantastic remaster, and I can't stress enough. Unfortunately, because it's a remaster, a remake, whatever you want to call it, It won't be eligible for one of my top 10 games of the year because remasters and remakes, they don't really cut it, unfortunately. And it's a shame. It's a real damn shame, because if it did, it would easily be in my top 10 right now. We're only in March. Now, maybe you're sitting out there and you're the kind of person that's never played Shadow of the Colossus. You don't know what Shadow of the Colossus is. I'll give you kind of a rundown of what the game is. And this is coming from a very layman's terms of things, because I'm not a diehard fan of this game. So basically, short on the story is you're trying to save a princess, much like Zelda, except the princess is already dead, or at least that's the way I look at it. And I know people are going to butcher me in the comment section, because I'm sure there's some crazy ass lore around this game that I just don't know, because I'm not as into it as everybody else is. Anyways, the whole point of this game is you have to kill these 16 colossi to bring her back to life. I think that's what the point of it is. Again, I could be wrong. And you're off. You literally jump on your horse and you are riding to these different bosses and fighting them, and they look huge and daunting and kind of scary at times, and they're really not. And one of the things I appreciate about Shadow of the Colossus more now, playing it and going back and kind of seeing all these other games I've played throughout the years that have used elements of this game, from level design, boss fight design, and everything, and I have an appreciation for this game. But what I like about it is its artistic style to it too. I like the quiet moments of it when you're just riding your horse and there's not really any music going on, and you're just kind of hearing the sounds of nature in this world. Another thing that's important to note, if you've never played Shadow of the Colossus, there are no enemies in the world besides the bosses that you are fighting, and that's the point of the game. You're not there fighting other enemies in the world, just you, your sword, your horse, and the 16 colossi. And the colossi are huge and they're daunting, and each one of them requires a little bit more of a difficulty spike than the last one in terms of taking it down. I will say the water one is the worst one in the game. I hated that boss fight because I kept falling off it as it went underwater. It was a pain in the ass. I did it, but it was a pain in the ass. Putting that aside, they're all very interesting boss fights. They all take place in very interesting locations, and it's just fun. There's enough mystery to this world, just going through this game and getting as far as I have for the first time in the game, that I really love, enjoy, and appreciate about this game. So, for the inaugural episode of Play This Game, choosing the PlayStation 4 remake, remaster, whatever the hell you want to call it, of Shadow of the Colossus for PS4. Pick it up. It's a great game. You're going to enjoy your time with it. Anyways, guys, hope you like the new show. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.